Yo, welcome to the KaneSaid Sports Show, and I'm your host, Kane Bradfield. And y'all know my slogan, the fame is free, but the grind costs, baby. Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of KaneSaid. And I'm your host, Kane Bradfield. Y'all know my slogan, the fame is free, but the grind costs, baby. Today, listen, man, I got some special guests today, man. Some more coaches, man. We're going to talk about basketball. Man, we're going to discuss where basketball is headed and where it's at currently. Coach, how y'all doing, man? Y'all all right?
Great.
Good, man. So, look, one by one, man, introduce yourselves, baby.
First of all, Kane, thanks for having me. My name is Coach Edwards, Kenny Edwards from Central High School out of Carrollton, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
Yep, same here. Really excited to be here. Coach Trent Gatzmayer from Newnan High School up the road.
Okay.
And I'm more local, Markville, Lagrange High School.
Yes, sir. Perfect, man. Listen, man, appreciate y'all guys being here, man. So listen, y'all, we're going to, like I said earlier, we're going to really talk some basketball, man. So, Coach, man, just give me your background, man. You know what I mean? For where you come from and all this type of good stuff.
Well, originally, I'm from Alabama and Tennessee.
Okay.
I moved to Georgia in 2003. Played basketball at Snead State Community College,
Okay.
Jacksonville State University in Alabama. Started coaching right at Jacksonville State in college. Spent most of my career coaching in college. Came over to Central. This is going into my fourth year.
Okay.
So most of my time's been on the college side.
On the college side, yeah.
It's been fun in the high school, learning the high school ranks.
Yeah.
Dealing with these guys. They're catching me. They're catching me up.
Right, you already know. So, Coach, let me ask something, Coach. You know what I mean? You played ball in school, man. Man, were you a baller or were you a baller?
Well, I think I was a baller at Snead State. Okay. When I got to Division I, I was just a good role player.
Good role player. Know your role.
Just being honest.
That's all you got to do, know your role, baby. That's all you got to do. All right, Coach, about you, big dog?
Yeah, I've kind of been all over. I actually played high school basketball out in Oregon and Idaho, and then played in college at William Jewell College in Missouri,
Okay.
which is NCAA Division II. And then I've kind of been all around Georgia after that. I did a little bit of coaching when I was finishing my master's degree at UGA, and then went back to Kansas City for a while, and then came up here and I coached in Gwinnett County, Mountain View High School, and then this is my third year here at Newnan.
Perfect, man. Perfect. I love it, man. Love it. All right, Coach, give me something.
Well, I mean, I'm from around this area originally. I'm from Bremen, which is right up.
Shout out to Bremen. It's the Blue Devils, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Blue Devils. All right.
A long time ago. But,
Yeah.
When I was in college, I first started. I didn't play college ball, but I guess it's my second or third year when I was at West Georgia. I started helping at Carrollton High School with the Trojans.
Okay.
I did that for 3 years, and I mean, we had good teams there. Then I went to Savannah for a year and met my wife, knew Coach Polly, and I've been here. This is, I guess, my 19th year here.
Really?
Yeah. So
Yo,
I've
Coach,
been at Lagrange for 19 years.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
19 years?
Well,
Coach, you know what's crazy, though, Coach, man? I went to Savannah State. So, you
What
know,
year?
long time. Not just playing. I played, you know, I left in 2000. You know what I'm saying? So from 98 to 2000. You know, I mean, I went to JUCO first.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
think I was
So-
there in 04, maybe.
I was good and gone, man. I was out the gate by then, man. Yeah, I was out the gate by then, man. Yeah, so that's what's up. So, Coach, listen, man, we're going to talk about, like I said, now, currently, high school basketball. You know what I mean? Anybody can grab this question. Currently, high school basketball, man, what do y'all see is at right now? Is it competitive? Or talk to me, man. What y'all think is that? Who want that one?
I grab it.
Give it to me.
I think high school basketball is very competitive. I think the game is changing, morphing into a 5-out, 4-out, post shoots the ball. It's
Yeah.
the old school game is kind of deteriorated.
Yeah.
So you got to evolve as coaches. You know, you see a lot of coaches not willing to evolve and develop players, and now there's no true post anymore. Really.
Right.
If you find one, he's a diamond in the rough. And so I think the game has evolved, and I think it's very competitive. I think it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I think it's mimicking the NBA and so on. How the game
scoring is crazy
just,
right now.
Just get up and go and play.
Yeah. So, man, imagine something now. Man, do y'all think that the post game gonna ever come back?
I I mean, it could. I mean, I remember maybe it's 2015, 2016. It wasn't that far ago. Carrollton High School, they had a player, Monte Glenn.
Okay.
He's Division I. I mean, he's probably 6'8", 250. I mean, he was a force inside. But
Wow.
you know, the way the NBA game is, the way
Yeah.
the college game is, we keep trying to force guys to play in the post back to the basket. 'Cause, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's helpful. You start having to guard the post down there, it opens up things on the outside, and it's a good way to draw fouls. But I mean, it's nobody wants to do it.
Right.
It's
Well,
just hard.
You got to think about it, man. You know what I'm saying? Being outside is pretty. You know, everybody like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, downtown 3 type stuff. You know what I mean? So, man, to y'all, man, what year, you know what I'm saying, did the postman start to disappear? Like, now, let's talk NBA first, okay? You know, what year do y'all think the NBA that y'all start noticing? Big men starting to go, outside the 3 now.
I'd say after Dwight Howard, just off the top of my head.
Yeah, Dwight Howard, Shaq, kind of the last true dominant
Yep.
centers, and I'm a big Shaq fan. But
Me too, man.
I think kind of when he started getting out,
Man, you right.
everybody started becoming shooting guards,
Yep.
shooting power forwards, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Dang, Shaq was the last of the last, to be real, though.
That's kind of my thought.
Yo. Dang, man. He like, for real, Shaq was the last of the last.
That's dominant.
Because, look, I'm going to tell you, man, Dirk.
Howard was after him. I can't remember who retired first and everything, but
Who's that now?
Dwight Howard.
Oh, yeah.
from Atlanta. I mean, he was the basket. Of course, they threw him oops and everything, but
For that dominant center. I think
He was
Shaq.
the run the rim, run in transition,
Yup.
throw the lobs.
Yep.
The last throw it on the block to the guy.
right.
Probably Shaq's class.
That's-
Before that,
Even if
Ewing.
the
Before that,
Hawks
lots
now-
of
Yep. I agree with that, man.
Even if the Hawks now have Clint Capella, I mean, he couldn't even hit the floor for Houston because of the way they played. But in Atlanta, he's wonderful.
Yeah.
He
You're right
fits what
about
they're
that.
doing, so.
Dang. So, okay. So now, in terms of high school, again, anybody can grab these questions, man. So, in terms of high school, man, how do y'all determine where a kid's going to play at?
I think a lot of it, like we just kind of gone through, it kind of develops outside of the season. We kind of experiment in the spring and summer, kind of letting kids play,
Okay.
seeing where they develop, and then it kind of falls into place a little bit once the season starts. So I'd say, at least on our end, the biggest part's kind of in the off-season stuff. You see kind of what sort of gains they can make and kind of where they get to by the time we lock in for the season.
I think it starts young as well, kind of identifying, you might see them now, they might be here now, but who should they be? They're going to try to play college. I had the kid, Xavier Adams, that came as a true post player that I knew that he was too small, too skinny to be in the post, so I had to get him where he could shoot threes and be effective out there. So by the time he was a junior and senior, I really tried to transition him to a small forward position. So I think it's really player specific, but really player development, sending at an early age, try to get him out. Turning a good shooting guard, maybe 6'1", into some point guard role as well, because he goes to college, he's going to have some point guard skills when he plays in college.
You're right.
He's only 6'1".
And I mean, I'm gonna tell you, man, that's a real thing that you gotta talk to your kids about, is knowing that as they go to college, stuff's gonna change for where they're gonna be at. You know what I mean? Because it's crazy, man. We talk about this all the time, even from whether football or basketball, whatever sport. You know what I'm saying? Your particular school at the time determine where you're gonna play at. Now, that doesn't mean this where you're gonna play in college. You know what I mean? So how do y'all balance that?
Well,
Right? I mean, you feel me though? Like, yeah.
I was going to go back to what you said earlier, because I didn't answer on that, but we're talking about how they are as young kids and everything.
Okay.
Well, I remember, and I think you know too. I mean, this is more local, but like Jordan Ogletree. I mean,
Yeah.
He took when he was in middle school, then he took that growth spurt. Then I got a kid now, Tristan Smith, that during COVID he grew 5 or 6 inches.
Oh my gosh.
Well, he's used to playing guard. Tristan was, and now we don't have any posts, so he's got to play inside for us to do that. So sometimes you just never know how these kids will develop. Rashad Coleman was another one. This is years back. He was 6'3", skinny. Well, he had a hard time like making it at Bruton Parker. Then all of a sudden he just shot up to 6'6" and bulked up, and he's at UTC playing on the floor against either Duke or Carolina one of those games.
It's
So, I mean,
crazy.
you just never know when these kids will hit their growth spurt.
Right,
either.
right.
You know, I guess like the Euro stuff, what they do is they teach guys all of it. Dribble, shoot, etc. And you know, and then as high school coaches, I mean, we got to do what's best for the team. I mean,
Right.
You know,
Right. Because you got to think
not
that you don't
everybody's
get.
a 3-point shooter.
Wait, right. Because you got to think you don't get so many, athletes come through your school.
Right.
You know, I know you got to. Well, Central and Newnan, what's your qualification?
I'm 4.
We're actually 7A.
It's on Central. Y'all got a.
Yeah.
You got a lot to pick from, huh?
I know. I try to cross train my
Oh,
athletes.
so he said, right.
I believe you got to cross train your athletes and make them skilled in all positions. We teach our post to dribble just like we do our point guards. We try to do that, and I got that from prior life, but trying to make everybody very skilled and hopefully so they make the right decisions when they're asked to make the right decisions. And I moved my shooting guard to 6'2", 6'3", around to play the 5 some this weekend so we can play fast.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to press, so I can hide him. I can move him around and hide him. So I just trying to make him skilled and
I like that.
all fastest to the game.
I like that. Go ahead. Could you about to say something else?
Yeah, I would just say the same. You kind of depends on the group that you have. You're kind of trying to make it work as you go.
Yeah.
Like Coach said, we have certain things in our program that we want to do and that we expect kids to do, but then our team changes year to year how we play. Like last year, we made a run to Elite Eight and we didn't have a true post player. I mean, we were almost exclusively 5 out. We had kind of an athletic guard who could post up a little bit, and he would flash in there, but we never had a 4 or 5 man that was around the rim other than on the run. So it just kind of depends on what you have and what you can develop once you get to that
From
point.
that, yeah, I dig that. Coach Veal, you want to tap in a little bit on that?
What's the question again? I answered one part.
Yeah, I was talking about, you know what I'm saying, how do you determine, like, if a kid, like, for example, I'm going to say with Tristan, he is, he almost one of the top kids on your team. You kind of force him to play post. You know how you balance that, though?
Well, let me think here how we balance stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, we're not college. I mean,
Right.
Like all these college coaches, like they may be like a certain way they want to play. They can recruit to those things.
Right.
Here in high school, I mean, you're constantly changing.
Yeah.
Like the 3 of us. I mean, we just played summer ball for 3 weeks, and I mean, yeah, it's competitive, but I mean, you get to see like, all right, well, what's this kid good at? What's he bad at? What's his strengths, weaknesses, and you may have to switch your own philosophy as a basketball coach. Like you may be man-to-man guy, or you may want to like force it down the post, or you just kind of got to like fit to what you have.
Yes, yeah. So far as summer ball, you know what I mean? Do y'all have a cap on how much ball you trying to play in the summer? Or you just
We played 27 games in 3 weeks.
okay?
And I did that. It's probably too many, really, in reality, because I probably need a little more practice time. But a lot of my guys don't play traditional AAU ball outside of a handful.
Okay.
So that was kind of their AAU season. So that's kind of how I treated our summer ball. So since I've been at Central, that's how I treat my summer ball.
I like it. Okay.
Play as many games as I possibly can.
Okay.
And, 27 is probably too much. My first year we played 38, but we also had a full month, and I had everybody together.
Yeah. Cole, how about you, Coach? You know what I mean? Do you put a cap on your summer or?
Ours has been so different with last summer getting canceled from COVID. So our kids were so excited to play that we were
Right.
similar. We gave them as many as we could.
Yeah.
And probably too much. We were breaking down a little bit at the end. But I've always just enjoyed. I think you play a little harder when you're playing someone else. So even on the days we practiced, we did some joint practices with teams where we could control things, but it was competitive. And I just kind of, hey, they're giving up their summer to be here with us. Let's get the most out of it, and let's make it fun and give them as much experience as we can get.
Yeah.
So we kind of probably should have practiced a little bit more, but we kind of lean towards the game experience and seeing them kind of figure out roles and chemistry as we go.
I dig that. How
Oh
about you,
yeah.
Coach?
I mean, look, practice is great, but and we should have done more of it. But I'd say we did 25, 28 games.
Okay.
And of course, we hosted a lot at Lagrange, and I think we had close to 30 schools come this summer. And of course, they came some, but we all pretty much stayed local with where we played.
Okay.
But they went a separate weekend than I did, and I mean, we had good teams, good schools come in and play us, and they went and traveled and played good schools. But when we went up to Atlanta, the Lake Point thing, they went the week after we did. I mean, you're seeing schools like Green Forest. I mean, they got 3 7-footers. I mean, that is nothing you have in this county. And
That's
I mean,
crazy.
just in the size of guards. I mean, we all have great quick guards. Because I know their team. They each
Right.
have a nice guard, but.
Right.
Some of these teams from around the Atlanta area, or whether it be Tennessee, Alabama, I mean, they'll have a 6'4" guard that's just as quick.
That is crazy.
And they can shoot and they get above the rim. So when you go up there, it's an eye opener.
Right. You say Lake Point?
Yeah.
Hey, tell me more about that.
I mean, the Lake Point thing it was new right before COVID.
Okay.
It's more so, and y'all can tell me better on this. It's one of the live periods in which the college coaches were there.
It's a live period. This month is a live period. For this past week was a live period for Division II,
Okay.
Division I, so they can come out and recruit. It was hosted through Georgia High School.
Okay.
It was a live event. Georgia High School's committee hosted it. There's 288 teams.
Yeah.
Georgia, Florida, all came to the one gym. It's 12 courts at Lake Point. Lake Point's where they have training facilities.
It's kind of overwhelming.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's a great facility. And
Wait, don't they do baseball there too?
Yeah.
Baseball,
I know you're talking
softball,
about now.
yes.
Yep.
It's right before Cartersville.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Emerson, Georgia.
I thought I saw like a outdoor volleyball.
Yeah.
I know you guys talking about now.
Yeah, that's it.
Dang.
Georgia High School did a great job of getting this many teams, hosting it, running, facilitating
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It was a great event. It was over 22 events, over 700 college coaches that came through there. It was impressive. I mean, it was. I mean, you got Division I, 5 stars through the roof.
Yeah.
You got us walking in trying to get our kids
Trying to
that
get that-
level.
yeah.
You know, but to me, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to compete.
Right.
Like
Right.
We all are. You know?
I love that. So what's that conversation head into a event like that? Because it seems like you say, it's overwhelming. A lot going on. You got big time college coaches. You got big time players there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? What's your conversation with your team as you guys prepare for that?
I would say with our team, we just kind of explain to kids like this event is an awesome opportunity, and we're just trying to showcase you. And the best way to showcase you is for us to be playing at our highest level.
Yeah.
So we kind of spent the summer on things like, hey, you're going to be playing in front of coaches, and they might see 10 seconds, they might see a half, they might see 3 games. So I don't know if they're going to notice your body language with your teammates, the way you run the floor, the way you shoot the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, so we just kind of tried to point those things out for 3 weeks building up to that to give them their best shot to do that in front of colleges.
Wow, I dig that. I'm gonna tell you, man, my college coach, and he said something similar to that. I still remember to this day, he was like, cause we had we was playing a few teams that had some guys who projected to go to the NFL. He was like, guys, it's your opportunity. And it was so funny. He did a crazy illustration though. It was funny. At the time, we all laughed at it. There was some blinds on the wall. He said, guys, and the room was kind of dark, we were watching film. He just bumped the blinds, and the light shined through. He said, guys, you got to be that light. You know what I mean? But at the time, it was funny. We were like, cool, why you didn't hit the blinds? But it makes sense, though. You know what I'm saying? If you go to an event, they have a lot of D1 prospect and full of coaches, all you got to do is do that one thing. And coach will be like, okay, let me keep an eye on him. You know what I mean? So it makes sense. Now it makes sense. But at the time, I'm like, what you talking about, coach? You know what I mean? But it make a lot of sense now, though.
I let it, we had 24 games leading up to be ready for that. That's how I approach it. We got 24 games to get whoever shows up because, football guys come in, miss that.
Yeah.
So, we're short-handed the whole summer. But we had 23 games to get ready, to be ready for this tournament. And, to play at a high level, to play the way we play, to compete.
Right.
All I ask my guys, my prospects, is to compete. Go compete and play your game. Play within what the structure of what we do. And just play game. And we had some kids get some attention from that.
Oh, man. Okay.
Luckily had some kids that had a highlight dunk, so that even gave them a little bit more attention.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I didn't realize how much social media can help you.
Oh, man, social media can take off for you,
but
man.
he did in-game dunk and just went through the roof.
They went viral.
He did. I mean, I'm just like,
Right. Right.
but
You do that,
now his name is trending a little bit, so that helped himself by
Right.
being ready. It wasn't me, it's him.
Right. Man, I like that. Because
I agree with everything they said, and I mean, I'm sure they did as well. But we also told our team it's kind of like a measuring stick to see where you're at.
Yeah.
Because like they do, like we do a lot of times in the summer is like in a real regular season game. I mean, if you get in, you get in. This isn't like a rec
Right.
league anymore.
Right, right. Right.
You don't have to get in. So, but in the summer, I mean, we all kind of treat it a little like a rec league. I mean, we may be a little bit tighter on 7 or like at the end, but you don't ever know who's going to get injured in the regular season or what's going to happen. And so you try to give everybody playing time, but probably like they did, we did the same. When we went up there, we said, look, we'll get you in the first half, but after that, we're going to play.
It's your time to play ball, yeah.
So we kind of want to see where we're at because I don't know who they played, but some of the teams we played were like Miller Grove, that was a state powerhouse, and I know Central played them in the first round
So
last
we lost
year.
in the state playoffs, yeah.
Man.
We played Johnson out of Savannah. That was we just played good teams.
Yeah.
So it was good for us. So.
Right. So, Coach, let me ask you something. The region change. You know what I'm saying? What did it do for basketball? You know, I know from a football standpoint, I know it helped the football.
Right. Well, I mean, we're in there with all the Columbus teams. In Troop, and I mean, we've been in that Columbus region before, and we've done fine. I mean, like if we're in last year's old region, I mean, we'd been there for the best player in the nation, Jabari Smith, at Sandy Creek. So it was tough for basketball. It was like us, Central. You had Troop, Cedartown. Cartersville's usually good.
Yeah.
But anyway, for all of us, this will be our last year in the Columbus region.
Right.
The regions that they're in, and then we'll flip it. But Spencer's the top team in basketball down there. They're legit. They've got players. And, I mean, they're not as strong in the other sports, football and baseball in that area, but for basketball, I mean, they're really good.
They can go at it, yeah.
And down Columbus, I mean, they care about basketball. So,
so it's still competitive. So, Coach, you had mentioned earlier about AAU. You know what I mean? Man, it's for all y'all in this one. You know what I mean? Give me your opinion on AAU. You know what I'm saying? The benefits of it, the pros, the cons, the whole nine.
So I'll say I'll keep my college hat on for AAU, and I'll take my college hat off and go to high school. So, I think it can bring value if you play for the right program, play in the right showcases, the right tournaments. I think sometimes it can be abuse, and taking kids' money, not playing the right tournaments, playing in these tournaments where there's no exposure at all. But the right programs do it right. I mean, I have my guys playing in one in Atlanta, and it's a good one. They're playing the right tournaments. I researched them.
Right.
Make sure they're playing in the showcases that benefit the kids, and this coach actually pushes them to college, helps them along each other, working together with me. So I mean, I'm a fan of AAU if it's the right AAU program.
It's the right program.
Yeah, you want your kids. If they have to spend money, you want to play in the right tournaments to maximize that money and their exposure and opportunity for their parents.
Right. I like that. How about you, Cole?
Yeah, I'd kind of second that. I think it's a really challenging thing because you're trying to find the right team that goes to the right events, that you can play the right role with, that for our kids that you can get transportation to. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. And like he said, you kind of got to know what you're doing, and not all those kids and parents have a background in that. So I think it can be overwhelming. I think people can get taken advantage of at times. But on the other end of that, I've seen it really help a lot of kids too. So it's one of those things you got to kind of figure out how to navigate it and make it work for you and your situation. But it definitely has the potential to help a lot.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, look, I mean, they're playing.
Yeah.
I mean, kids they got to train. Get in the gym and shoot by themselves. They got to do both. So I mean, as long as they're playing, that's a benefit right there. But I think I did AAU back when I was like 20 or 21 when I was at Carrollton.
Okay.
And I mean, we thought we were really good, and we were, because we had a D1 guard. And I'll never forget, like, the first tournament we went and played in. We played I didn't know a thing. This is back 2002, I guess. And we played a team called the Atlanta Celtics.
I heard of them,
Yeah, and they came out there with their front line of Dwight Howard, Randolph Morris, and Josh Smith that played for the Hawks. And we knew there was a different world out there.
Right.
And sometimes these AAU tournaments you go play, and you got to play your local surroundings because that's what you do. But sometimes they'll go to these tournaments up in Atlanta, and I think some of our kids, like Tristan, my point guard Kobe, they'll go up there and play some teams. Yeah, we did well against them, or we beat them, or coach, they drug us. I mean, they're beating us by like 55 at one point. So there's some pros.
Some pros to it. There's pros. Now, do you guys got to reprogram kids who come from AAU? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who like okay, as soon as time to get back in you guys' hands. I mean, do y'all find yourself had to reprogram them? Some kids.
I say you do. I mean, there's luckily when got my guys, they focus on defense a little bit. Usually it's the defense when they
Right. Yeah.
Trying to, you know, they're switching everything and without communicating, without talking, and you're not helping on the backside rotations. Things that we stress, not taking charges, things that we stress. But I mean, for the most part, my guys know when it comes to me, we're gonna play defense. So I mean. But yeah, there is some restructuring and some refocusing.
Right. Most definitely.
Yeah. I would agree with that, and especially the younger down you go. Kids who have been in your program a year, 2, 3, if you're lucky. I mean, it's kind of natural for them to come back. You're just kind of fixing a few habits. But the younger kids, I would say it is a pretty big change. You definitely want to build in some time to kind of, you know, highlight the positives from their AAU season, but also kind of fit them back into the program.
Yeah, I dig that.
Another thing with change on a different level is AAU tournaments, there's 2 officials. And you play in a regular season high school game, there's 3 officials, and it's called tightly.
Yeah.
And also, like, if we're going to play Newnan or Central, I mean, we're going to scout them out a good bit before we play. And not saying that there's no scouting in AAU, but it's limited time.
Right. Makes
sense. Like, if we're playing Newnan, whatever, like in 2 or 3 days, I mean, we're going to be prepping for Newnan, and we're going to like watch some film, and we're going to, you know, do a walkthrough, you know, the morning of. But so there's, you know, it's different.
Yeah. So, Coach, I'm gonna ask y'all this now. This is a little sticky question here, though. So, like, for example, let's say if a kid's a multi-sport kid, you know what I mean? Because you guys got to wait the football over with before they jump into basketball. You know what I'm saying? So if a kid is playing football, I mean, they have a deep run in the playoff, right? And they lose in the playoff. You guys done started your basketball season. Man, how do y'all handle? And he's a baller, right? Coming from football and coming right to basketball. Do you bench that kid who been playing, or do you let the kid? You see what I'm trying to say? I mean, it's a tough situation. So how do y'all handle that?
For me, it's if the kid's been in the program and he earned his time through practice. I mean, I would let him have some practice time before I give a spot up. But when that happened for me last year, our team made a state playoff run, and then they pushed back 2 weeks. Season was pushed back 2 weeks by Georgia High School. Yeah. And we had 5 practices all season last year. So they come in, and I had to base my decisions and rotations off what they done the prior years.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so I had to trust that they bought in. So after a week or 2 practice, you kind of throw them in the mix.
Yeah.
And then if the guy earned it, he performs in the game, performs in practice.
I feel that.
Yeah,
I feel that. I feel that.
Want to win.
You got to get them W's, baby.
That's right.
You got to get them W's. What about you, Coach, man?
I'll answer. I mean, it's Coach Scotty that coaches with me. I mean, he wants to gradually work them back in, and more so mentally. You know, like, I mean, we'll have some, like last year we did the same thing. Like, I'll use our point guard Kobe that was pretty good for the football team. You know, we had them like get a practice in, kind of like Sam game. Then we kind of like played them a little bit against Harris County. We just gradually got them back going because you know, the football season. You know, for us this year, aside from just the football season itself, I mean, there's a lot of outside things that went on. Which, I mean, you know about with like
right.
You know what I'm talking about. Just like the other. It was a mentally exhausting year for them.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, when you leave that sport, then you're going back into another one. I mean, just kind of need to take your time. We've had kids before that will say, "Look, if you need a week off or whatever, fine." And some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah, because you got to think, man, when you coming from, you know, it's different though, coming from football to basketball. As far as the mental part of it, you know, before the X and O's, all that type of good stuff, right?
Foul out.
Yeah, all that, yeah.
And there's maybe some justice for me because I have a kid that's a D1 prospect on there, so he comes out late and he has to go to visits in these camps.
Man.
And he's a contributor, and needs to be a contributor.
Ooh.
You got to work with him because it's what's best for the kid.
Right.
It's, for me, it was a learning curve because I'm new to high school, so I'm learning
the
whole process. But it's what's best for the kids. So I mean, you go and
And go with.
Yeah.
So Cole, you brought it up. It's a good thing. You know, so what's the biggest adjustment you had to make come from college to high school?
commitment. Flat out commitment of your athletes. I mean, in college, I recruited kids to play basketball.
Right. It's no more thing to play basketball.
And I got guys that play 4 sports. So, I mean, that's it. And it's not great. I push it. I want it to be clean. I want to play all sports. Just a commitment. I mean, trying to find out how they can get in there and mix. And this summer was a prime example. I mean, I never one time had a full roster all summer. I had 2 football guys all summer long. Just because of camps. And they're also
doing their 7-on-7s
in 3 weeks too, because it impacted them as well. It's not their fault,
Right.
And of course you don't want to hurt the kids, so go do your football because you might start in August.
Yeah.
So, I mean that's that. How do you give a commitment from kids that pulled in so many different directions without bringing them down? So that was a learning curve for me. Still is.
Right.
But I also always gonna factor this out of the kid. I'm always gonna what's best for the kid.
So and again, this is for one of you guys. Man, when is the best time? Now, okay, this is a multi-sport kid, right? Man, when is the best time in you guys' mind for a kid to say, okay, now it's time to focus on this sport?
That's a big question. We've experienced it a lot. We've had a few kids go football only in the last few years as they got older because they started developing real specific college-level interests.
Okay.
It was pretty clear that maybe they could play basketball, but they could definitely go play football. So in that case, it was kind of hard to fault a kid for missing basketball workouts or being a little lenient on playing basketball when he knows he's already been offered by these different football schools.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a right answer to that, but kind of what I've experienced myself is just kind of towards the end of their high school career, if they kind of see where they're going at the next step. But then on the flip side of that, we've had kids who knew they were going to play baseball or football or whatever, who still got something out of playing basketball, enjoyed it, contributed to us, kind of helped develop as an athlete or enjoyed one more season playing a different type of role than what they'll do at college. Because when you get to college, it's a whole different world. So for some of those kids, it's nice to have one more run at trying to win at the high school level.
Trying to do something, I like that.
I just had this conversation with one of my guys. I hired a guy back, I coached, a lay coach, Pat Gamble. He played at Central High School, went to Georgia Tech, played football, all ACC at Georgia Tech, wanted to play professionally for a while, came back, just hired him back. He's a great young man, stud. I asked him the same question. I said, is there a time, I need to make sure I'm being the right high school coach for the kids, And he's like, no. So I played my senior year. He says, college coach came and watched me play basketball. He said it helped he played defensive end. He's 6'5", 300 pounds, 280 pounds. He said it helped my mobility, flexibility. He says, and I'm telling all now, he's coaching football and basketball. And I hired him to be a bridge between the two.
I like
and
that.
he's telling me, no, I'm going to tell him to play mobility, flexibility. If you're just a 300-pound offensive lineman, he said, I may not do that.
Right.
They're not required to be as mobile. But he changed my whole mindset on it just 2 days ago.
Wow.
So,
How about you, Coach Veal?
Past few years, here at Lagrange, just because they're playing football doesn't mean they can't do anything for basketball.
Right.
Rico Smith that played for us, and even Kobe last year. Football doesn't care if they just get in the gym and shoot.
Right.
They could get hurt doing God knows what.
Right.
But, if they're in there shooting, of course, that's what we kind of like as basketball coaches. Play chess, run cross country. I don't care. But, we just, whatever you're going to commit to, whatever sport, you commit to it. But, also try to find some time just to, get in and shoot some.
Yeah.
I remember when I played, baseball, if I didn't touch a basketball for a while, I was god-awful for a while. So.
Right. So I'm going to tell you what I think, guys. I think, play it all. Right, you know what I mean? But once you get to that point where you feel like, how you said earlier, this could get me a scholarship, I think the extra stuff need to be done for that. You know what I'm saying? As far as the extra training or the extra whatever, you know what I'm saying? So if football your ticket, don't stop playing basketball.
That's your
Just
movement.
know you got to put more work in at football because that's
yeah.
your, you know what I mean?
Facts.
So that's what I'm thinking on that right now, man.
Hence why I let that kid go to this big camp. I said, his mom said, he don't got to go. I said, yes, he does.
Right.
This is a camp he got invited to, and it was Division One. I said,
Yeah.
yeah, he's got to go to that. He missed a couple of basketball games.
Right.
I absolutely had a kid back when they won 90-something in a row. Trayvon Walker, it's the defensive end of Georgia, defensive line.
Man.
And he was basketball player too, and I mean he was just phenomenal.
Right.
If he didn't play basketball, I mean they'd never won 90-something in a row. So.
Dang. So in terms of D1, Coach, and this, I want all y'all think about this. So in the last 4 years, how many kids have you had to go D1 and so forth in the last 4 years?
This is my third year at Newnan. The year before I got there, we had one, and the year before that, we had another one. So we've had 2 in the last 5 years or so.
Okay. Cool.
Since I've been at Lagrange, I know Coach Polly, Coach Jay Mitchell,
Yeah.
and I think my first year at Lagrange was Rashad Coleman. So,
Oh, yeah. I remember Rashad. Rashad.
his dad, I guess it was on that 77 team that won it.
I'm not even
That's
sure,
the
but
goal.
I know exactly what you're
So,
talking about, though. Yep.
And then, of course, when I was doing my student coaching at Carrollton, we had a guard, go Troy State. I mean, so, in terms of D1,
Yeah.
look, we've had a few kids like Bernard, Brooks, and Don Leake, and they went and played overseas
Right.
after college.
Right.
So, but in terms of D1, and I kind of know where you're going with this, but I mean, a lot of kids, they get so stuck on, like, I'm going to go play D1,
Right.
it hurts them.
Right. Cause see, I'm gonna tell you, man, because I asked a question before. Man, do you think it's now in terms of Division One, is it genetics or is it opportunity?
Well,
Both, depending on the situation.
kind of both.
When, especially in today's climate, you got to think D1 is almost impossible now unless you're on the radar because of the transfer portal and this waiver, NCAA waiver. Like, I mean, it's tough right now. I mean, I had a kid go that had D2 offers last year, and NAA offers, and they're getting a better package going right here in Lagrange College, going to school for free. And I always tell college, I don't look at levels, I look at fit.
I like that.
Let's look what's the best
like
fit
that.
for the kid. You know your kid, you coach them. You know how they handle pressure, how they handle adversity, how to handle the classrooms.
Yeah.
And so I, coming from college side, even I coach at JUCO, trying to push kids out, I look for the fit. I mean, it takes a special athlete to play D1.
Special
Like,
athlete, like
it's-
1%ers,
Yeah,
man.
it's I mean, only basketball, 3% go play college basketball, period. Scholarship, everything of high school players. So that percentage is very low. So when a kid gets opportunity, it's our responsibility to unpack that and what that looks like and the opportunity before them.
So what's that conversation though, Coach? What you have with y'all make everybody, like how you about to say earlier, Coach Veal, everybody has a dream to go Division One. I'm going so and so. But so when you guys have that conversation with Jimmy or John and say, hey, listen, I know how he's about to fit. I know you want to go Division One, but this is a better fit for you. I mean, when you guys have that real conversation with them?
I don't know about you guys, but I start early. I mean, I start 9th, 10th, getting them ready through the whole process, NCAA process. You can tell real quick if they're not handling their clearinghouse and they're not handling their ACT, SAT tests. You're not ready.
You already know.
Start there first.
Yeah, you already know.
And then
Yeah.
they're not competing and they're not dominating your practice. They ain't killing your practice every time they walk in the gym. They're not Division One. They're just not. I mean, just
I like that.
Division One's a different level.
It's different.
Kid you had,
it's-
O'Darian Bassett, you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, he is a beast.
Wow.
He won Division One AA. I mean, he's playing professional. Has been what for?
But his route to get there, which is, we have a lot of kids that, I mean, I guess you could say a lot. I mean, he went JUCO. He went to Okaloosa,
Yep.
Fort Walton. and He was there 2 years, and
Okay, I heard that one.
he developed physically. And then he got looked, and he went to Troy State. Then after that, he spent a long career in overseas. But one thing about his athletic ability is he was almost an Olympian triple jumper.
Golly.
He still can play. We'll still play with him.
Yeah.
That's crazy though.
I think you should continue. Like I'm having my conversation right now with my 22 prospects that I have. I'm having that conversation right now.
Okay.
Like, again, like, all right,
Yeah.
so this is the tension you have. This is what you need to work on. Here's the schools that are interested. They invite you to this elite camp. What's that look like? And in reality check, we had a game at the Georgia high school. My guys just didn't play well. I won't tell you what I told them, but I can walk you to the water. I can teach you how to fish, but you got to do your job.
You got to do that part.
They didn't show up one game, and I said, we've got these coaches here watching you specifically. It's on you now.
Yeah.
I can get you there.
Yeah.
You got to do your part. So it's a learning opportunity and teaching opportunity for you to take them and teach them that. I say, now let's resurface now how important it is for your off-season and preseason program going forward to what level you want to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had a D1 school come in our practice a few years ago, and they saw highlights of one of our kids, and he didn't dominate the practice. So he told me, he said, when the light comes on, let me know, and I'll be back down. But I mean, I think they'll probably agree. I mean, at least you see it in every sport. Kids want to go D1,
right.
They get there and they sit the bench, possibly, and things don't go well or whatever. So kind of what I tell our kids is, what can basketball do for you? If it's NAIA, D3, you want to go JUCO for 2 years because you only get one shot at it because you have visions of D1 or D2, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But the worst case, if you go JUCO for 2 years on scholarship, and then let's say, all right, well, you got to go NAIA your next 2 years or D2, lo and behold, you didn't pay a single dollar, for college. And basketball got you a free college education. So,
Right.
Yeah, I'd love to turn the TV on every now and then and see our kids playing at Duke or Kentucky, but those are just percentages.
But where do those kids come from, though? Like, that's
you
what I'm
went-
trying to get
if
to.
you
Like,
went
in the
where we
world,
did
I
a few
mean,
weeks ago, you'd have
that's
saw
the
it.
crazy part. Like, so I'm saying, though, does this area not, I don't know. It go back to genetics. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like.
Well, where he came from, or not came from, but where he is in Newnan before he got there, they had like the kid at Marshall. How tall is he?
Yeah, he's about 6'8", 6'9" now.
Yeah, and he can step out and shoot, and that's D1.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you got that now, this area as a whole doesn't have that height.
Right. That's what I'm wondering. Like, why? Is God mad at us or something? Like,
But it's up in Atlanta.
Right.
The height's there, so.
But I will say West Georgia has some good basketball players.
Yeah.
We just, I think, I
No
know
doubt.
we do. We push them hard. We collectively, as a community of West Georgia, need to do a better job of pushing our kids out there. Because we did a showcase, West Georgia showcase last year, and had 40 kids from the West Georgia area. And I have 400 coaches, had 17 watching it there, and some live streaming. And they're like, I didn't know West Georgia had players. That stigma of that, because I never personally recruited West Georgia, but I recruited Carrollton, a very select few of schools at the college level.
Okay.
So I think we all got to.
Yeah,
Collectively.
tell them kind of more about what you put out there.
Well, last year we did a thing called a West Georgia Showcase, and
It's in
right
the fall.
October, right before season started, and thinking about doing it again this year. Just
Okay.
my gym's been renovated, so I gotta be strategic.
Right.
How I put it.
Yeah.
But last year, we brought 40 kids in from all the West Georgia, all their schools around here. Personal invite, let them pick their prospects, if you would.
Okay.
And then we brought them in, separated teams, up on different teams, got them different color jerseys, had live stream, and I invited coaches from all over the country to come in, and of course a lot of them couldn't come out because of COVID. They're very restricted, so that's why we did the live stream. And then I paid a service to live stream it, and we did a live stream. I know over 200 coaches. I know for a fact live stream it. I know of.
Right.
Because they're asking me questions about players, and I created a packet and sent packets out.
Yeah.
And it was really, it was received well. West Georgia wasn't on the map. We had Kyle Sandy and 4 or 5 of the media outlets, local coverage here covering the event. Really, it helped I'm saying it helped my players specifically. My 3 prospects I had, it really helped them a lot because it showed that they can compete with 7A schools and Lagranges and so like that. And so it helped me because before before I got to Central, they didn't go play 7A schools. They didn't go play. I said, I want to play. I want to go. I'm going to get beat. Let's get beat by the best.
Right.
I know the college coach is going to be there. These big
They're
schools.
going to be there, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of why my mentality is. So I want us to do all more of that. And these guys are great. They were sending me kids and people. And
Man, that's what's up.
us working
yeah.
together to formulate this culture for our West Georgia area. And that's kind of what my vision was that. Their vision was that. That's to push that so we can sell all our kids. Because, he may have a freshman that's going to be a stud one day.
Right.
He might want to send his freshman down there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's kind of my vision with that. I want us all to collectively do a better job of selling our athletes collectively. Because if he has a good play, it's my job to say, and that post player he had last year was good. He's bouncy, athletic. I love it. He knows I love his point guard.
I mean, we all three got our social media stuff, and I think we all three use Huddle. We do the highlight tapes, and you can send them out. We got our databases, and you send them out, and the kids get recruited that way. But you also got to be careful too. I mean,
Okay.
like you can kind of like burn bridges. I mean, you got a kid that wants to go play at North Carolina, and you send it out to Roy Williams or Coach K that's no longer there. I mean, it's kind of
Right.
I mean, and college coaches, I mean, they travel and they go from place to place and they talk, and you kind of got to have some credibility too, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
You send them a JUCO player, good high level D1, they're gonna call you back.
Yeah.
Your name is all you got when you're talking coach.
He said he won't call you back. Right.
Because you send him a
You
six. You
send
said
him-
he was 6'5", he's 6 foot,
Two.
soaking wet.
Yeah.
And then,
Right.
very,
Right.
very important. Like, I mean, I had no problem selling their kids because I know I've watched them play and they played against us and beat up on us, so I know what they could do. Right. So I don't have a problem doing that, but you have to be very specific.
You gotta be, yeah. You don't burn them bridges, boy.
I mean, I have a prime example. I had Lagrange tournament. His tournament, he's Toyota Classic. Our 6'5" small forward that's going to Lagrange had a D1 that's going to offer him D2, offer him on the spot there. Played horrible against East Paulding. Lost it right there on the spot.
No.
Just didn't perform to his standards. I mean, and there was a lot. I mean, I had over 20-something schools. That's why I love coming down there because they can get to Lagrange pretty easily.
Yeah.
He had a beautiful facility. So
we've had that before. We've had a D1, D2 come watch one of our guards 4 or 5 years ago, and they didn't play good. And in some ways, it's kind of unfair too. Because
Everybody asks me, do you ever be like, Coach, he just had a bad game. Just give him one more chance.
yeah, I'm like, well, even though we won and we're ranked highly in the state, and he's been doing this all year. I mean, Trey Young had a bad game 7. He's 5 for 23.
Right.
Well, and they won last night without him. Well, Trey Young sucks, so let's just trade him. No, I mean,
Right.
that
It don't
ain't
go down like
happening.
that. Yeah.
So I mean, sometimes people just have bad games, and it's like his kid. I mean, it's a little unfair.
I think you really have to just be real with what level you think they can play at, right? I mean, you got to be honest with yourself and the team. And and I do send. I continue to send it out, but college coaches just don't realize their job depends on that scholarship. I mean, they could lose their job in that 1 year.
Oh yeah.
It's a business.
And then it's your
So
trouble.
if that kid at 6'5" is not what I say he is, he doesn't perform. He signs him. He could lose his job. So it's a different side. We have a lot more leniency in high school. We may not get fired after a couple bad seasons, but in college, you can get gone.
You can get going. You can be, yeah.
Coach Gatz had a kid. I don't mean to put him on the spot here, but he's got a guard or a wing that can shoot really well.
Okay.
And I think he hit 16 threes in 4 games this past weekend against good competition. So I hadn't asked him yet, but I mean, shooting is also a premium. I mean, height is one thing college coaches look at, and if somebody can shoot, this kid can shoot. So I'm just curious, like, when you played, if coaches were watching or if there's any response.
That's a good point. He had an awesome term. He's actually 1 point off of being the leading scorer up there last weekend. And he's just kind of a kid that lives for that sort of moment, so he was pumped about it. But, again, kind of like the database that he put together for his event, we're kind of hoping that he hears back from some, because we did notice some schools that were kind of peeking in as he's hitting a couple in a row. He hit about a 28-foot game winner. And the court behind us had Milton and them going, had 6, 7 Division I kids on it. But when you hit a game winner and you hear the crowd going, they're kind of peeking over, like kind of like we told them, hopefully it gets your name on the list.
That's right.
Like they're going there looking for people to cross off to shorten that list. I definitely think he did enough to be on there. And it's just that stuff. And then kind of on the other side of it, I like to push to our kids. I don't think they understand how good Division II basketball is.
Right.
Because they just don't see it. Like you turn on TV and you watch Division I, and it's obviously a higher level, but if you go to one of those games, I mean, those kids can play.
They can
there's
be,
some
man.
grown
Yeah.
men out there that can play. Yeah. And like we've said, there's kids that go overseas after playing at those lower levels. I mean, so it's kind of keeping all your options open and like they said, being honest about where they're at. And then on our end, I know how much time these guys put into promoting their kids to give them every opportunity possible. And I think that's one of the biggest parts of our job at our level. So, and that's kind of the give take. We put a ton of time in with our kids, and they're with us all the time. They really are kind of family to us, so we want them to be as successful as possible. It looks good on us, and we're trying to take care of them for all that we've put in together. So it kind of goes hand in hand with that.
I dig that. So look, guys, you know, as far as scoring, 'cause Coach Ed mentioned scoring earlier. You know what I'm saying? Man, how do you identify that scorer on your team? Like, to me, you know what I mean, to be a scorer, you gotta have a certain mentality. Now, you know what I mean, how do you guys, you know, identify that person on y'all team?
I'm speaking from high school. I'm learning I'm having to develop mine. Because you know, I mean, I come from. I don't have as much athletes as these jokers got. But I'm having to develop mine. So I mean, high school said, I mean, you try to develop their confidence, try to skill set, believe in them when they continue to give them positive feedback when they miss shots and take shots, and and I'm having to build that. Like my best player, like I've had to develop him into that. Like I'm like, you got to shoot that ball. Like, son, you got no choice.
Right. You got to score for
your
us.
head coach is telling you have the keys to the car.
Right.
Take
So that's what I'm saying, though. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that. You know what I mean? Somebody, man, the real scorers. You know, somebody shouldn't tell them, "Yo, score." Like, they gonna have that off the rip mentality. You know what I mean?
It's a combination. I mean, last year I had two guys. One that's Kobe, my point guard. Of course, he did the point guard again this year. I mean, he's got the mentality right. Javon Brown was another one that would. He had like 30 points one game, and some of us get them like in their sweet spot where they score.
Right.
And sometimes it's keep it simple. Like we would call plays for him, and he may not score, but when we didn't call plays for him, he'd score.
Yeah, score.
But this summer, I think we developed another score, and that's kind of like back what they're saying is more the mental stuff with everything. When we started calling set plays for him, it's Garrett Jacobson. We could get him the ball in a certain area, and he had an easier time scoring. And help him gain confidence too. So.
I'd say to that, there's definitely some that are just natural. I think they're born that way. Like the kid he was talking about for us, like if he was at a Lakers open gym, he'd be firing it up. I mean, if he went and played my 5-year-old nephew at a
he'd be shooting that thing.
He'd be firing up on him too. I mean, his plays all the time.
His kid too. He's talking about when he leaves summer ball, fall, he goes and plays at the park. I mean, he just
he loves it.
And he's one that I'll look back on and say that's why I love coaching, because just a little background on him. I mean, his home life's not great. Literally during all the COVID stuff, he went to the rec center and played.
Wow.
So he had Wi-Fi. So he'd do his class from there and then play in between class. I mean, it's literally all he does.
He's clocked in. I like
it's
him.
It's going to be his ticket out. Really smart kid, but just born into a different situation than some of us. And makes the most of that. And basketball is his passion, and it's also going to be the thing that gets him somewhere in life when he's done with basketball.
Right. Man, you know what's crazy, man? You know, kids like that, are the one with the greatest stories. You know what I'm saying? One who had to endure some stuff. Like, and how you said, man, he know basketball, he ticket. So, he living that 1% life, doing the extra stuff.
Absolutely.
Extra stuff. So, Coach, and this for you, Coach, you know what I mean? For a kid like that, man, does that rub off on his teammates?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's become a natural leader for us. I mean, it's clear cut. You ask any kid in the locker room, they'd point to him. And it's not necessarily he's that much physically more talented than other people, but when you have a passion for something, you can see it. And his passion is for that, and it does. And it elevates everything we do, to be honest. I mean, he wants to play the best people possible. He wants to play as well as possible, and he's going to bring you with him if you're in Jersey on his side.
Man, that's what's up. That's what's up. What's his name, Coach?
Zion Brown. He's a senior this year.
Okay.
He actually, funny story, the year before I got here, he was a freshman. and wasn't on that level yet, but he's so confident, talks so much that he actually talked his way on the varsity team
Really?
and got some varsity minutes. Yeah. He could play, but he wasn't ready for that yet. But in his mind, he was.
He's
so
like, I'm ready to get
he got
there.
out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's up, man. So, yo, Coach, I want y'all to check this out, man. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of every show, I always ask, you know what I'm saying, before you got to leave the people with something. One by one, man, just leave the listeners, you know what I'm saying, with some type of encouraging word, you know what I'm saying, just something that'll make them be like, yeah.
Well, for me, from the basketball aspect of it, I would just say, like I said earlier, I mean, encourage your kids to get out, work on the game, support the kids that are doing well in your local community, push them through social media platforms, help their coaches, push them out there to the college coaches and get them exposure. We have some great talent in the West Georgia, and I say push them, believe in them, help them achieve academically as well. I mean, our team GPA is a 3.67, and we push that.
Wow.
And that's what we do that, and that gives you another tool, another key for you when you're going to college.
That's it.
It sets you apart from the other athlete that maybe scored 20 just like you do. So that's that, and I'm Kenny Edwards, Central Basketball. Come check us out.
Yeah, it is. I love it, baby. I love it.
I kind of second that, and my big thing would be that I've seen over the spring and summer is just kind of encourage kids to keep their mind where their feet are. We get kids who are so focused on that dream of where they're going to go that they're kind of eyes closed to everything that they're experiencing at the time. This summer we've had some awesome moments with parents helping us out, with kids, with kind of learning roles, with becoming friends, with all sorts of different experiences. And it's really just showing up every day, being excited about it, having a passion for something, and being ready to work. And just in coaching, we've seen kids that over the course of 1, 2, 3, 4 years change so much. So mine would kind of go with him: support your kids and support our kids in this community, and realize their potential of where they can go, because we do have a lot in this area that make huge jumps, whether it's with us or after us.
Yeah.
So I would just kind of say that support our local kids. There's some really good coaching in this area, and there's some great kids to be developed. We just kind of keep needing to highlight them as best we can with stuff like what you're doing, with what these guys do.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference.
I love it. I love it.
I guess I'll say something from a different level, but I took my daughter, that's 11, she'll be 11 tomorrow, to the Hawks game last night, and I'm just sitting there because this past year was just so crazy. You had to limit who could come in.
Right.
We're in state playoff games, and you could literally only have like 20 fans a team in there. And, I know all the games we've played at Lagrange here in the past. I mean, it gets packed out, gets loud and everything, but just being in the Hawks arena last night, just seeing all the fans and excitement back in there, and just a joy of basketball. I'm just so glad to. I'm not like a scientist or medical expert, but we're getting closer to being back.
Yeah, most definitely.
And you can see it in baseball, and football is going to be so much better to watch.
Oh man, sure is.
Because this past year it was great, but the fans make it. So I think we're just kind of blessed to be back, kind of where we're going, and it's just. I mean, it just kind of gave me chills last night. Just
yeah. I bet. I mean, like I said, everybody.
The fact the Hawks won, I had chills before. So,
Right. No, go ahead.
Do you mind if we all shout out to our
Man,
college
do your
prospects?
thing. Man, do your thing.
They all while we got the platform.
Man,
there.
do your thing.
Kenny Edwards Central High School. I'm gonna put 2022 prospects. 2 of those on your radar. Brian Bain, 5'9" point guard, true floor general, 4.2 GPA, averaged 13.9 a game last year, 7 assists, 5 rebounds from the guard spot. Former state champion at the private school level, MVP. Led us to 19 wins last season. Put him on your radar. Another 6'3" shooting guard, Joseph JoJo Bell. Extremely athletic, long, 4.1 GPA. Extremely athletic and scored the ball. He averaged 15.8, 7.4 rebounds, 6.3 assists, and less in charges last year, less in points, rebounds, steals, and charges last season.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
You got for me, Coach?
I've got 2 as well. The two be senior guards, class of 22. Zion Brown, the one we mentioned, he's a 3.5 kid. GPA wise, this will be his 4th year on varsity, 3rd year starting. Shoots the ball as well as just about anyone in the area, and that's playing against the Pebblebrook, McEachern, Campbells of our region. Going to be an awesome prospect. And I haven't been around a kid who loves basketball more than him, so I know that'll apply to the next level. And then the second one, Wesley Drake, he's a point guard, shooting guard for us, about 6 foot tall. He was second team all region last year as our 6th man off the bench. Actually led us in scoring, 14 points a game, and has really changed the program himself. And he's not even close to what he can achieve basketball wise. So those would be the 2 biggest ones for us at Newnan High School that are great ambassadors of the game, of our school, of our communities, who can help at the next level as well.
I love it. I love it.
And look, when we do our Toyota Classic that we've been doing for years, I mean, both these guys, their teams will be there.
Okay, cool.
And I think we got 14 teams coming. We got Atlanta area, Alabama area. They don't even know who all they're playing yet. But I mean, my 2 seniors, I think Jacoby Jones, he'll get some football offers too.
Right.
Probably more so as a slot or cornerback guy.
Yeah.
I think he kind of wants to do like LaPerion, see if he can play both.
A dual sport,
He's a real good football player too. And the other guy I mentioned, Tristan Smith, has developed into a nice wide receiver for football. And he's developing a nice basketball player too, but he's trying to get used to his body when he's 6 inches.
Right.
So we got a lot of good players. We'll see what happens.
Man, I love it, man. So let me tell y'all something too, man. So I do something called KaneSaid Top 5 Weekly. You know what I mean? We got to make sure that we stay in contact, because if you got kids who done did some highlight, you got to send it to me. See, can they make that top 5? You know what I mean? So it'll be great to do, man. But guys, listen, I appreciate y'all coming in, man, showing the love. You know what I mean? So everybody, listen, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of KaneSaid. Listen, man, got some great coaches. I mean, y'all heard what they said. Go check out their players, man. Go check out their players, man. I love these coaches, man. So listen, y'all. Thank y'all again for coming in, man. All right? Zip them up, y'all.